All right, let's do this.
How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Sick Eric Tech, and today we're going to be comparing the Samsung Galaxy S24 to the Galaxy S24 Plus to see the differences between these two. If you're on the fence about picking up either one of these and you do not want to go Ultra, where we're going to find out the differences, very little, but we're going to find out the differences of these two devices, put them side by side, and that way you guys can determine which one you might want to pick up. So let's go ahead and jump down into a Galaxy S24 versus the Galaxy S24 Plus. Let's go. And today we are going to be comparing the Galaxy S24 versus the Samsung Galaxy S24 Plus. Now these devices are pretty much the same but different in some areas, and I just wanted to go on over each of the specs, that way you guys could see which one you might want to pick up, the more affordable, more compact Galaxy S24 or the large S24 Plus. Definitely do not pick up the Ultra. You'll be fine with the Plus, especially if you don't need that S Pen. If you need the S Pen, then go for the Ultra, but you would save some money going for either one of these two models right here. So if you're new here to Sick Eric Tech, welcome. I highly appreciate you guys stopping by. A subscription would be absolutely fantastic if you guys want to see more videos just like the one you're watching today. So going on over to the dimensions of both of these devices. So the S24 Plus is going to be the larger device here, coming in at about 6.24 inches tall from top to bottom, 2.99 inches wide, and 0.30 inches thin. It comes in at a weight at about 6.91 ounces, covered in Corning Gorilla Glass 2 Victus 2 on the front and on the back, with the Armor aluminum 2 frame going along the edges. So very nice. IP68 dust and water resistance on both of these. On over to the S24, it is 5.79 inches from top to bottom, 2.78 inches wide, and 0.30 inches thin. So both of these devices are exactly the same in thickness. They just vary in the size department. Again, covered in Corning Gorilla Glass 2 with the Armor aluminum 2 frame going around, and IP68 dust and water resistance, 5.89 ounces. So it's definitely a lot lighter than the Plus version. So that is really nice. If you want something more compact, then I suggest getting the regular version rather than the Plus, just because of that size. So go on over quickly of the design of both of these. So looking very reminiscent to last year S23 and S23 Plus, but you do get more of a flat iPhone like design on these guys, with those 3-ring camera bumps on the back. And there is the top, there is the bottom, along with your SIM, USB Type-C, and speaker. Going on over to this side, nothing. You got your volume rocker and your power button on the right hand side in really good spots, especially your power button. So that's fantastic. Both of these devices do have in-display, optical in-display fingerprint sensors, and they are both very fast and reliable when it comes down to that. And both of these do have always on displays and facial recognitions. So if you want to have more security, you can have facial recognition activated on both of these as well, along with your PIN and password protection. Now going on over to the operating system. So both of these are running Android 14 out of the box with One UI 6.1. Samsung's latest One UI is going to be available on these and available on other devices later on. And I have to say that they are fantastic when it comes down to performance. Both of these have the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 processor. Only difference is you get 8 GB of RAM on the regular version and 12 GB of RAM on the Plus. As the GPU goes, they both have the Adreno 750 GPU, while over here on the regular S24 they start off at 128, while over here it starts off at 256, so keep that in mind. and you get UFS 4.0 on both of these, so that's fantastic. So quickly talking on performance on both of these guys, they both perform really well. I think the S24 Plus comes in a little bit more power with that 12 gigabytes of RAM, while over here on the S24 you only get 8 gigabytes of RAM. Every now and then you see a slight stutter when trying to do something over here on the S24, but it is very slight, and if you're not looking for it you won't notice it. But the S24 Plus definitely does perform a little bit better. Both of these guys will perform really well when playing games. I do not play games, but if you wanted to, they could definitely handle anything you throw at them. Editing video, you know, anything you want to throw on here, these guys will handle it just fine. And if you just want to scroll social media, take some pictures, and play some normal games, these guys would do just fine. So definitely powerhouses on both of these. The new Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 is a beast and might be Snapdragon's best performing chipset ever. Is going to be this new chipset. Very nice in the performance department. Now going on the cameras, so this is very interesting with the camera department. So even though they have the same specs in the camera department, do they take the same pictures? So you get 50 megapixel main sensor on both of these, with an aperture of f1.8 with optical image stabilization, and you get a 10 megapixel telephoto lens with an aperture of f2.4 with 3 times optical zoom, and it does support OIS as well on both of these. And both of these do have a 12 megapixel ultra wide with 120 degree field of view, and it does support super steady video. Now both of these can record up to 8K 24 and 30 frames per second, along with the 4K 30 and 60. Front facing camera on both of these are both 12 megapixels with an aperture of f2.2, and they can record up to 4K 30 and 60 as well. They do support HDR, auto HDR, and HDR plus on both of these. So let's go ahead and take a look at just a couple of shots showing the differences between these two cameras. So as you can see, both these cameras are exactly the same when it comes down to the video and the photography on both of these. Obviously they have the same sensors, they're going to be exactly the same, so no surprise there. But just for shits and giggles, here is front facing camera, 4K, 60 frames per second. Now you guys, it's good to see the difference, which there is none. Whatever, waste of time. Let's continue on with this comparison, shall we? So exactly like I said, these cameras are exactly the same when it comes down to shots and video. Not much to talk about there. Either way you go, you're going to be getting the same camera quality and the same video quality on both of these devices, so that's fantastic. Whether you go for the smaller one or the Plus version, photos and video are going to be exactly the same. Now going on over to the main difference of these two devices is going to be the displays. So the S24 Plus comes with a 6.7 inch dynamic LTPO AMOLED display, supports HDR10 plus, 120 Hz, and gets up to 2600 nits peak brightness on this display. So it's fantastic and really bright. It does have a higher resolution of 1440 by 3120 with 513 pixels per inch. Going on over to the S24, 6.2 inch dynamic LTPO display, supports 120 Hz as well, and HDR10 plus, gets up to 2600 nits peak brightness, so the same in the brightness department, is just a smaller display. Comes in at 1080 by 2340 with 416 pixels per inch, so you do not get that quad HD, you get a 1080p on the regular S24. Now both of these displays are absolutely fantastic, even though the whole vivid setting on both of these is going to be broken until we get a fix, but still the display qualities on these are absolutely fantastic, and I think these rated very highly on the DxO mark for displays. So that goes to show you that Samsung really knows what they're doing with these displays. Very nice and natural looking, saturated but not as saturated as before or last year. Some people might like that, some people might not. Personally, for me, I think they are beautiful. They get well enough bright enough outside to see in direct sunlight, so no issues with these displays. You get some nice thin bezels on there, so that is fantastic. Now both of these devices do have stereo speakers with Dolby Atmos on board, so you can adjust the audio on these from auto, movie, music, and voice, so that's fantastic. And I would have to say that the speaker quality on both of these are absolutely fantastic. But is there a difference considering the size of both of these devices? Which one sounds better, or do they sound the same? So let's go ahead and take a look at the audio and the speaker quality of the Galaxy S24 and the S24 Plus real quick. So what did you guys think of the speaker quality? Which one sounded better? I think the S24 has a little bit more room inside to resonate that sound and sound a little bit more fuller than the smaller S24, but they both sound pretty much the same and very good. Comment down below on which one you think sounded better. You get Wi-Fi 7 on the Galaxy S24 Plus and Wi-Fi 6E on the regular S24, so there's a difference right there when it comes down to the Wi-Fi. Bluetooth 5.3 on both of these, and USB Type-C 3.2 on both of these as well. Now both of these devices obviously do support Samsung DeX and Samsung wireless DeX, so you can connect these to your TV, monitors, and things like that, and use these as your personal computer, so that's fantastic. Personally for me, I don't really use that a lot. I've tried it maybe once or twice, but a lot of people use that a lot, and these two devices support DeX. Now going on over to the differences again of these two devices is going to be in the battery department. So the batteries on both of these is going to be 4,900 milliamp hours on the S24 Plus and 4,000 milliamp hours on the S24. You get 45 watt wire charging on the Plus with 15 watt wireless and 4.5 watt reverse wireless. Can go from 0 to 65% in 30 minutes. While over here on the S24, you get 25 watts and 15 watts wireless and 4.5 watts reverse wireless charging. Can go from 0 to 50% in 30 minutes, so about a 10% difference in charging. Not much, but both of these definitely are a little low on the charging side, considering other manufacturers can charge up to 60 to 100 watts on their devices. Samsung really needs to up their game in the charging department and stop playing it safe. I feel like ever since the Note 7 days, Samsung has been playing it safe with their charging on their devices. So as far as battery life goes, I have to say that the S24 Plus lasts a lot longer than the regular S24. I found myself charging the S24 after a full day of usage at work around dinner time, while the S24 Plus will get me all the way down to bedtime when it comes down to longevity. So I think battery life, the S24 Plus is going to last a lot longer than the regular S24. But then again, everybody's usage might vary. I find myself not liking the battery on the S24, while over here on the Plus, absolutely love the battery life over here. So as far as the colors go on both of these, the Galaxy S24 both of these devices come in onyx black, marble gray, cobalt violet, amber yellow, jade green, sandstone orange, and it's going to be sapphire blue is going to be that last one. Some of those are exclusive colors. This is obviously the sandstone orange on the Plus, and this is the marble gray on the regular S24. And I have to say, the Samsung's colorway this year has been fantastic. This seems to be an all-time favorite color on any device, is going to be the sandstone orange. A lot of people love this color, and I have to say it is very elegant and very beautiful, and I think Samsung knocked it out of the park with the design, even though similar from last year, and the colorways. I think Samsung did good with both of these devices. So hopefully you guys found this video useful. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. That is quite alright, and I will see you next time here on Sick Eric Tech. Peace.